Hi, I'm Ashley Whitmer, and this is my video assignment that I will be submitting. The first question that you asked us to answer was, what dispositions do you possess that make you a successful teacher? And one of the resources that was given to us kind of highlighted some of those things, and one of them was high expectations. And so it focused on the piece of being able to give your students assessments, individualizing their instruction, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, really focusing on the needs of the students. Which, as a special education teacher, I feel like that's one of my strong points, is because I have to do assessments on children that come into my program, and then I form goals on their IEPs, and then I tailor their intervention in my classroom to their strengths and weaknesses. We mostly work on the weaknesses, but we use their strengths in a way to help build them up. So I feel like that's one of my strong points, is being able to identify my students, know what they need individually, and really work on helping them become better students. And also, I prepare them. I teach preschool, so I do special ed ages 3 to 5. So I work on those goals of making sure we're having them ready for kindergarten. And that comes with a lot of a big process of assessing, making sure the intervention's working, collecting that data, seeing what doesn't work, what does work, and continue on that kind of plan. And I feel like as a special ed teacher, that's like one of my big strengths, and that this is my second year teaching, and so I'm always learning, but that assessment piece and that individualized instruction piece has always been one of my strengths. What dispositions do you need to work on or grow as an educator? The other piece of information that was given to us as a resource was the idea of being professional with your attire, your time. And I think one of them said like communication with parents, or let's see, actively participating in school and professional learning, demonstrating respect for yourself and colleagues, and interacting with families and peers. As a second year teacher, I've kind of had to figure out what works, what doesn't with communicating with parents. And it's been on all different kinds of mediums. So like last year, I had like a piece of paper I would send home with my students every day of like how their day went, what we're working on. And I would email parents and call. This year, a lot of the teachers I work with use Class Dojo, where we can message back and forth. You can send pictures of the students, which has been awesome. But I always feel like I need more work with communicating with parents, and I feel like that's like a professional conduct disposition that I think you can always better yourself in, but it's definitely been always one where I've kind of struggled with a good way to communicate with parents, where I'm having that back and forth feedback, because it's hard having like 24 students on my caseload and doing books back and forth. That's way too much on me. I'm spread too thin, and I can't communicate effectively that way. I've been trying Class Dojo, so we'll see how that works, but definitely that's one area I think I could totally always improve on. The last question was, what does a professional educator look like, and how do they behave? And what standards guide their thinking and actions? I think a professional educator to me is someone that is professional and respectful to students, families, and your coworkers. They behave in a way that I like to think of as someone that's like honest and has a really good work ethic and really believes in their students and believes that they can make a difference. I definitely think a professional educator has to have that professional relationship with coworkers too and colleagues, because I feel like my years in the school setting have always been, it's always different in each building, I should say, because last year I taught over in Seattle, and the environment there was mutual respect between everyone, and it kind of just was smooth on how everyone interacted with each other at that school. But my new school this year has been a little different, and definitely more drama than I would expect from grown adults. But I feel like if we're holding ourselves to that professional standard of being professional with our coworkers, with our colleagues, with our principal, with parents and teachers, then you're being a professional educator. And I think once that's set with each one of those mediums, that then the true process of being able to teach and learn can go so much smoother if we have those professional boundaries and respect in place already. I think the standards that guide our thinking and actions are, last year we had Marzano's, which goes over all of the different pieces on like what an educator should be. This year they use Pivot to Observe Us, which is a different system, but still going over those basic ideas of, are you presenting yourself professional in the classroom? Are you communicating with parents professionally? How your teaching is it goes from basic to proficient to distinguished. So you're always being able to work on those things. And those are usually the standards that guide our thinking and actions in the classroom. And I think also just being able to, like, I have a work ethic in how I like to be viewed in the classroom and how I treat my students and talk to parents. And, you know, that guides it too, but also the point of that we get observed and are always being watched, and we have this rubric in place that helps us become better educators. So there's a lot of little pieces in there, but that is it. Thank you.